So fast. So fast, ah. We're live already. Oh my gosh, I'm like not used to this. Hi folks, ladies and gentlemen, dogs, cats, hamsters, guinea pigs, rabbits, animals of all kinds, of all natures. Welcome to this version of PDO. Yes, it's been a long time coming. We have been postponing because of heightened alert, not heightened alert, shortened alert, lengthened alert, whatever alerts there are. But here today, we are live right now, going out to all our viewers out there, and it's a hybrid version. I feel like a car salesman whenever I say this, hybrid version. Yes, because today, not only are we welcoming you, our online viewers, to tune into this program and give a quick shout out and tell your friends to come and watch, but we are also having some physical participants who have been pre-registered to join us here today from 3 to 6 p.m. for a whole day of great activities. Now, what's lined up here today is because we have to tell you this and we have to be very honest about it, okay? Otherwise, you all think, no, this one, how come got... There are a lot of things that have already been put into place, and a lot of SMM, safety management measures that have been also put into place for the people who are here, for the participants who have pre-registered, and also to the staff who are on ground helping us out with this version of PDO. Now, first up, we want to show our greatest appreciation to every single one of you out there for your continued support. Even despite all the cancellations, postponements, you guys are still here supporting us. So on behalf of NParks, we want to say thank you to all of you out there for making this happen. Now, also, we want to proudly say that this program is supported and brought to you by AVS, which is the Animal and Veterinary Service, a cluster under NParks. Now, not forgetting also today, ladies and gentlemen, this hybrid version, what is so different and what is so special is because here in Jurong Lake Gardens itself, from 3 to 6 p.m., our physical participants will be joining us, along with some of our animal welfare groups, basically Hamster Society Singapore, Cat Welfare Society, and also the Guinea Pig Rescue Singapore. Now, you can check out their web pages and see how you can contribute to their causes, because some of them are truly charity organizations. And if you have a heart of gold, you can do your online shopping to buy your own stuffs. Why not help these animals find new homes, or even just to help a very worthy cause, alrighty? So, now, with that said, we also want to tell you that the physical participants who have pre-registered for the event here today in Jurong Lake Gardens, they will be coming in and their pets will be receiving free pet health check service here on site. And this is again brought to you by our AVS Vets, alrighty? Not pets, but vets. Just in case I pronounced wrongly after too long not speaking to you guys. Now, next up, what can you guys expect from here today? We'll be having a little chat with some of our vets who are going to be featured, and they'll be sharing with you about how to understand your pets, whether it's a dog, it's a cat, it's a hamster, it's whatever not. These are guys who come with great credentials, and one of the vets has actually brought a pet. I tell you, we're really doing this PDO thing is like testing my English, you know. A vet has brought a pet, and the pet has actually come with the pet. Give up, lah. You know what I'm trying to say, lah, okay? Human bring animal, animal come with human. Simple as that, alrighty? So join us here today. Quick, give a shout out to your friends out there. Tell them to log in and watch this program live right now that is streamed to you guys. And we also have physical participants now actually making the way from what I can see outside there. But not forgetting, please, we're making an open call to anyone out there and everyone out there who are looking for a platform for your pet adoption to kindly contact us, and we can feature them in our future segments or future PDOs, whether it's going to be online or whether it's going to be live with all of you, okay? So quickly right now, you just need to go to AVS Engage at nparks.gov.sg. Is it right? Correct? Correct, huh? Oh, sorry, I forgot underscore. Okay lah, sorry lah. To me, it's underline ma. I never go to school lah. I'm tech idiot, okay? So AVS underscore engage at nparks.gov.sg. You can go there, have a quick check, and if you have any sort of platforms that you want to come and join us on, whether you're running an adoption center, you're running an adoption service, you have some very special services that you can provide for all these animal welfare groups, do let us know, and we'll be more than happy to engage with you guys up there, okay? So now, to start things off very quickly, I think this gentleman next to me is like going, I'm very eager to share already. Faster. Justin, can you stop talking? No, you're like having oral diarrhea. It's time for me to talk because I'm given 30 minutes. You already used up 25 of my 30 minutes. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we are going to have two special guests today joining us, as I mentioned earlier. And one of them is already eager to share with you, even though he's like a beaver, but he's not. So please join me in welcoming our very first guest today, Dr. Chow Haoting, Singapore Veterinary Association and veterinarian at the SPCA Community Clinic. And his topic today will be about Pet Owners 2.0. What the hell is that? How to identify pet health truths in a sea of fake news and marketing lies. Oh my gosh. Dr. Chow, pleasure meeting you. Your topic already, your first up, got me quite excited. It's like, I didn't know that animals also got fake news. I thought it was only like political issues and whatever other fake news that are going around about human beings. But even animals.
Yeah, and so exactly at this point in time, because of the power of the internet, there's abundance of information. But at the same time, with this information, there's also misinformation. So a lot of times, as a pet owner, it can be difficult to go and find out what exactly are the facts and what exactly are the not so truths. So then, hopefully, within these 30 minutes, I can do a similar oral diarrhea, try to explain and share as much information as I can. And yes, so it's the topic I'm very passionate about. Yeah.
Okay, now it says here in your credentials, because your whole list of credentials takes me about 25 minutes to read already, as in like that, just literally read, because it's almost like 7 pages of credentials that you have. Would you like to just quickly introduce yourself to our home viewers out there? Some of your credentials, don't name all.
So I guess I'm a vet. I'm also a volunteer on the executive committee of Singapore Veterinary Association. I locum at SPCA. I also do private practice. And also in the international vet community, there's this thing called the fear-free movement about creating an experience for the pet owners, for the animal patients in the vet clinics, such that they are less stressful, so that they can actually have a pleasant experience in the vet clinic. So for the fear-free movement, I actually have ED certification, so then hope to share the information about how we can provide an environment where we are mindful about the physical health and the mental well-being of our animals.
So I guess this is the reason why you chose this topic that you want to speak about today. Correct? Am I right to say that?
Exactly.
So you've roughly touched on how actually fake news and lies and some myths that have been put up online. You may want to give the home viewers a bit more of a concrete proof, or maybe even list some examples so that they know what we are talking about exactly.
Yeah, so first up, let's say a lot of pet owners out there, a lot of dog owners, one of the most common myths is what's the most common food allergy among dogs. So you think about 5 seconds, think about it, 3, 2, 1. The most common misconception is that a lot of dogs are allergic to chicken. So first up is that's not true. So there's actually a population study all over the world, and actually the most common food allergy among dogs is actually beef. And even so, only 20% of the dogs are allergic to beef. So actually it's also not that common. It is the most common, but 80% of them are not allergic to it. So it's very similar to food allergy in humans. Some people are allergic to peanuts, seafood, prawns, but yeah, so that's the most common one that straight out of the bat, let's just debunk it.
This is interesting. You tell me about dogs being allergic to beef.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the reason why my dog died after 16 years of staying with me. Because I always thought that this guy was into beef, like whenever I brought up beef, I want to bring up my prime cards and all that stuff, want to cook for the food. This guy just sitting there wagging his tail like, and my dog even used to eat durians.
Yep.
So is this a correct thing to feed your dogs? Because some pet owners like myself, we've got a soft spot for our pets, but we don't have a soft spot for our kids, So when my dog goes there and gives me the sad puppy face, I'm eating durian, and this fella just comes there and I'll feed, and this guy just cleans the durian, just leaves the seed only. So is this also a myth that dogs cannot eat durians, or dogs can't eat durians, or any sort of fruits?
So a lot of the naughty Singaporean owners out there do feed their dogs durians. So the main thing is actually a little bit as a treat, no harm. The dangerous part is actually the durian seed. So quite commonly we get in the vet clinic a dog actually swallowed a durian seed. And unfortunately, you think about the durian seed, let's say the Shih Tzu or Chihuahua is so small, the stomach is so small, the intestine is even narrower. The durian seed can actually cause quite serious obstruction. And before you know it, you need to do surgery to remove the durian seed. So the durian seed now costs $2,000. So we actually have to frame the durian seed up to do the surgery, unfortunately. So the main thing is everything in moderation. If you want to give durian, you get a small portion. The danger about that is dogs cannot digest fat or oil as well. So as we know, if you eat too much durian, you can gain quite a bit of weight. So you don't want to give too much. Then the main thing is the seed. You have to be very, very careful. You give the flesh and not the seed itself.
Well, I hate to always be this person who goes against what you say, but I'm going to be very honest. My dog is one of those, I think, went to school before type, school of hard knocks. This fella, you can give the whole durian, the fella will swipe out the whole flesh and spit out the seed and then look at you. Next one, please, thank you very much. So I don't know. I think from what you're telling me, it's really a matter of whether we pet owners want to be bothered and we want to take the extra precaution against things that will happen for our pets. But from what I'm hearing now, it's like $2,000 for one durian seed to be removed. I think I'm in the wrong career. Guys, anybody here want to join the veterinary service? Y'all can pick up your lessons now. See, straight away, see all the crew all raise hands already, you see? You see? Everybody says that's good to be a vet. So now, I guess there's also a common belief that for my case especially, I'm trying to link up to everything here that I used to face as a pet owner. Now, when I don't give my dog a certain treat or certain things sometimes, this guy starts to go, "Arr, arr." And even in the middle of the night, like when he's hungry, he'll just come up to me and then the paw will just start to scratch me all over and go, "Arr, arr." So is this normal? Is this right?
The growl is expression by the dog. So like for humans, you can be happy, you can be sad. So for the dog, growling can have different meanings depending on the context of the situation. So for example, if first time I meet you, I'm just like, oi, then you think I'm quite rude. But actually, if we are friends, we go way back, the oi has a different meaning. So that's the thing. So actually growling has different context. And if you can backtrack back to the $2,000, I think before some of the vets start shooting me behind the back, the main thing we talk about is Singapore as a country has a very robust human healthcare system. You talk about foreign body obstruction surgery in a human patient is so much more expensive. Just that because of hashtag good government, insurance, these things like that. At the end of the day, the bill by human patient may be $50, but for dogs, there's no public healthcare system in the world. Every time you need to be forked out by the own pet owner's money. But the same surgery in itself will have cost so much more. So talk about human healthcare. In America, the human healthcare debt in America is a $1 trillion industry. But in Singapore or other countries that have very robust healthcare systems, a lot of humans, even regardless of their financial status, they can still afford human healthcare. But as pet owners, part of responsible pet ownership is your own pet medical bills is your responsibility. At the end of the day, equipment, surgical equipment is interestingly expensive. A lot of the companies that sell surgical tables, surgical lights, they're all public listed. Look at companies like IDEX, Heska, they are like multi-billion-dollar companies. So the $200 is unfortunate, but at the same time, good equipment and good expertise, unfortunately, wouldn't cost pennies, a bit more than that. But going back to the growling part, yes, for sure. The one interesting I noticed, even among my relatives, is that when a dog growls, they unknowingly, subconsciously, or knee-jerk reaction, they scold the dog, which is what we do with kids. Hey, don't do that. Right? So interesting is for kids, human kids, they actually are more savvy. They EQ, they understand behavior, human behavior, body language. But for dogs, we are scolding the dog for growling. What subconsciously telling the dog is growling is wrong. But then actually growling is just an expression by the dog where they are uncomfortable with the situation. Like this, for example, my dog is, let's say, my dog is not, but let's say my dog is scared of people without hair. So if you approach the dog, then my dog, no, sorry, just joking. But let's say my dog starts growling, and then I say, hey, don't do that. Justin's a nice guy. But then actually, then my dog will learn that, hey, growling cannot growl, so I have to keep to myself. But then actually the growling is a warning signal. So they say that, hey, I'm not comfortable. So then for us to recognize, okay, my dog is not comfortable, maybe we keep some distance. But if the dog cannot express the discomfort, quite commonly they skip the growling, and what's the next thing? They bite. So that's why you talk about manners. Growling is actually part of the dog's basic manners as well. Is that pet owners need to recognize. So the dog training community, they call it the gift of the growl. So the growl is where we understand the dog is a cry for help. Yeah, they find that this is what they don't like. So then that's the main thing I put forth, because let's say if we don't allow the dog to express himself, the next thing is escalation of behavior, which is even worse, which is biting without warning. Yeah.
Now, Dr. Chow, you mentioned something very interesting about, I mean, okay, the people without hair part, yeah, I mean, I felt that tinge of, pain. But no, don't worry. I take jokes, man. If I cannot take a joke, I wouldn't be in this line of work, right? Over 30 years, right? We must all joke. Only COVID very stressful. Still don't joke, still don't laugh. I think that's quite sad. But here is something I want to ask you. And I think with a lot of cases of scamming, even human beings, because we humans, as you said already, we do have insurance coverage and all that stuff, except for some of my parents like myself who don't believe in insurance. But I've never heard of pets having insurance unless you're the Kardashians. Then it's a different story.
Yep.
But here is what I need to check with you about this, because with situations now of scams and whatever stuff not. So when a vet like yourself comes across a specific a medical claim, how do you actually verify if this is true, and what's the justification, and what sort of evidence do you look for?
So the pet insurance industry in Singapore, objectively, is not as robust as Australia, UK, America, and this is also why it's not popular, to be fair, because like the coverage at this moment in time, one of the popular plans, the co-payment is 50%. So 50% is still need to fork out by the pet owner. So that's why a lot of pet owners don't subscribe to such plans. At the same time, it becomes a catch-22 problem, where the insurance company, they don't have a big enough pot to have provide a good insurance coverage. Then as a veterinarian, when we have an insurance claim, the lucky thing for us is a lot of times these claims, this treatment is actually received or prescribed by the vet clinic. So for us, immediately we know this dog comes in here, he has diarrhea, and then we are the one making a diagnosis, we are the one giving the treatment. So then that is the easy part. But sometimes there are cases where owners come in, pet owners come in, and they want to backtrack the treatment. Can you change the date to like minus 30 days? Yeah, so at the end of the day, that is quite straightforward, because not a medical cost. That is just administrative, and that's just essentially fraud, basically. Then at this moment in time, it's easy for us to say no, because we also know that the pet insurance companies are struggling. They're not doing well. And it's the interest for the vets, the pet owners, and the pets if the insurance for pets in Singapore is better. It's the same for humans. Talk about our human counterparts in other countries where the insurance policies are not as good. The human side, the medical side also suffer. Yeah. So that's...
So this is what I also realized from what you just shared. Because honestly, this is the first time I actually listen to doctors. Whether it's a animal doctor or human doctor, and generic, I'm just saying that this is the first time listening to a doctor, because I've had my surgeries, and my specialist says you cannot do this for 1 year, but to hell with it. 1 month later, I'm out playing soccer, don't care about this, the triple bypass of my knee area or whatever not. But now what you're telling me is I feel that there is a deeper need for our own pet owners here in Singapore to understand the situation, and also to coexist with vets, so that you don't have the situation like, today, out of convenience, I'm along this area here, I can bring my dog to this vet. So vets are like also human doctors. So if your pet actually goes to you, let's say my pet goes to you, no doubt if your clinic is in the western side of Singapore, I'm staying in the eastern side of Singapore, it's better that I continuously come to you, so there's a track record of how my pet's health is and what it should be done. So it's like a record that you have with my pet.
Exactly, it's true. What is shared is a very important concept, where the vet needs
don't look for the cheapest deal. Okay, that's the thing I wanted to say. After so many words, the statement is so easy, like the cheapest deal. Don't 贪小便宜, don't
But the main thing is the vet needs to be an important ally in your pet ownership journey. At the end of the day, you have someone that spend like 6 years or beyond, and like tons of universities debt to go through this training, and this person is a resource for you, as a pet owner. So instead of you having a question, you take out your phone, you Google, you ask Facebook groups, hey, my dog is coughing, what should I do? Wait, at this moment in time, for the vet, in the vet clinic, it's actually a very important resource. So you may feel like, okay, it's not worth going down to pay the consult. What you can actually do, pick up the phone and call, and ask the receptionist or the nurse for advice. If they don't know, they relay you to the vet. Or let's say no one is picking up the phone call. Unfortunately, a lot of them actually have an email address, so you can write in an email. So for a source of information, vet clinics is a very good resource that I highly recommend that we all utilize. So even for me, let's say I have, touch wood, a lump. Also, if I can email my doctor, my GP, to ask, is this serious? I think that's a very valuable toolkit to have. Yeah.
Okay, now you touched on tech savviness and the ease of the internet.
Yep.
You know, we all have a very favorite brother that we go to for information. Google,
Yep.
Google, my Google brother, Google. So if this is the case that really it's emergency and we can't get an appointment with our vets,
Yep.
what would you recommend and which websites are good enough to get health information for our pets from?
So the website to go to, I mean, this is very crude because there's no PowerPoint slides, is this?
What?
Yeah.
Budget or what?
Yeah. So, but to be honest, this is the place. Everyone keep pause now and then just save this webpage.
Screenshot.
Yeah.
They call your phone quick.
So this is a website on the Singapore Vet Association. So it's a /pet info. So if you go there, this is the starting point to your self-funded vet degree. This is, I'm serious. You go on there, what we have listed there is like 15 websites that information that is distilled down to easy to understand lay person terms, and then you go there and start reading. So instead of you Googling, asking Dr. Google DVM what information, you just come here, I show you what you want to talk about, nutrition, skin problem, behavior, all here. So yeah, so this is, don't need to go to vet school, it's all here, to be honest. Instead of, sometimes to be honest, when at night, I cannot sleep. I take out my phone, I scroll through the pet owner Facebook group. Singapore dog lover, or let's say Sayang or cat community. I read all this is the reason why I'm here, because I see all the fake things people talk about. I cannot sleep. I get so angry. I'm like, what you all talking about? So that's why this is born, to be honest with you. So instead of people spreading like fake news, I just give you where to go. If you really want to read somewhere, you must read something that is actually written by real experts instead of someone that's like my auntie, my uncle, this sort of thing. So yeah. But the website is very well done. This paper is crude, of course, but also if the next, I have a next slide actually. So my next slide, if you can zoom in, right? So it's a Dunning-Kruger effect. So a lot of times, at this moment in time, a lot of people in their life, in terms of knowledge in the field and then the confidence, a lot of people are at this top part here where I know everything. Yeah. So a lot of times, if you think about it, the more you know about a certain topic, it gets more and more complicated. So to overcome the Dunning-Kruger effect, if you want to go down the rabbit hole to really understand what it takes to look after your pet properly, go to this website. So talk about rabbits, guinea pig, therapy, everything is here. Yeah. So this is our contribution to Singapore really, to how to improve the animal welfare.
I tell you, Dr. Chow, I seriously do not know how to react to this current situation. Even though we're working with a bit of script here, correct? We've got certain questions we need to ask, but the way you reacted and you brought it up when we talked about tech savviness and you had just one simple paper and this is my PowerPoint slide. Literally, it just slid up and then you went. And it was like watching an episode of Crime Watch where, authorities are looking for this gentleman. That is classic. So folks who are watching this in the comforts of your home, please know that this is a live show. It is not a pre-recorded, everything scripted, gone through editing, nothing. It is as raw as what you just saw Dr. Chow do. This is the place that you visit the website. This is the other slide that I have, and that's my whole presentation deck. I truly give up on this part. But Dr. Chow, I noticed you brought up from your book that PowerPoint slide. So you're here to sell books also?
Yes, because at the end of the day, a pet-savvy population is a population that will safeguard animal welfare. So the more we know, the more we can protect our animal friends. So jokes aside, this is something I'm very passionate about. So if you're interested in certain topics, these are some books that I really want to share. So the first one is Decoding Your Cat and Decoding Your Dog. Talking about animal behavior. So these are written by the American College of Veterinary Behaviorists. So these are real experts around the world. They are essentially the psychiatrists of the animal world. So they went through vet school and then they went through a 3 to 4 year residency about behavior. And then the next one about training is Don't Shoot Your Dog. So it's by Karen Pryor. So Karen Pryor is a legend in the animal training world about clicker training. So the next one is also, let's say you, unfortunately, nowadays who read books are terrible. So nowadays, the next one is doggy language. This is actually it's all about dog language, but it's very, very cute pictures. This is actually a very good gift for new-time dog owners. This is also what you can give kids also lah. So this is actually this illustrator is actually very talented. She's Malaysian and she's not in America, but this is also a very good book because unfortunately sometimes it's very hard for me to convince a pet owner to pick up a book to read lah. So some with some angkong, yeah. So it's really, instead of watching YouTube, watching some, I mean nowadays Facebook infographics, they go viral very fast. But it's like one picture, something sensational, and it goes viral. There's a study that done by, I think it was Stanford, if I'm not wrong, or is it, I'm not sure which university that did a study, but fake news spread 10 times faster than real news. And fake news is very dangerous. I saw a comic by New York Times recently where currently the 4 horsemen of apocalypse, currently there's a new 5th one, which is misinformation. And that is very dangerous because it can creep into our lives unknowingly. And as animals, they cannot voice their concerns. They cannot say, hey, this prawn is making my mouth itchy, but they cannot say that. So we as their pet owners, we are their guardians, so we need to do our due diligence.
I totally agree with you about this fake news thing because on my own social media, when I posted up that I'm ugly, the hit rate was only about 100 plus, but when I said I'm the most gorgeous being on earth, that fake news hit up to 10,000 viewership. I swear, really. So I understand about fake news. But this is not fake because in your moment of that, hey, you can go and check out my PowerPoint slide. You see my presentation is so professional. And then you see all these, you don't shoot the dog, but you want to shoot whoever you want to shoot, you go and shoot, but don't shoot the dog. You know, in that very fun, casual sharing of yours, we had actually a lot of viewers who came with the questions. So I tell you what, can I just speak to the backroom team? Just take one? Okay, so they say just take one. All right. Now, we have a question from Cheryl Tay, and oh wow, hi Cheryl, hi. Hi, can we be friends? okay, jokes aside, let's get down to serious business. But would it be okay for us to call or email our vets on such matters? Will some clinics possibly charge us for asking such general inquiries? Versus if we Google, check in with Facebook groups, or go to the website that was in Dr. Chow's PowerPoint.
So I guess the main thing is, at this moment in time, every day we do receive inquiries by random pet owners about my ear itchy, things like that. The main thing is, I guess, is we do expect to provide this service as part of the community without charge. Because you think about it, how do I charge per email reply? But I mean, so a lot of times you just ask. The main thing is also the email may take a while for the clinic to come back to you. So if emergency, best is to call. And if you are concerned that the pet is deteriorating, something urgent, and the vet clinic is not picking up the phone call, you may call a 24-hour center. So in Singapore, there's a few 24-hour centers out there. Westside Emergency, VES, B-Croft is coming up in Alexandra area, and then there's Mount Pleasant JG. So these are the 4 24-hour centers in Singapore that is so important for a pet owner to know.
Well, that's very interesting. So I want to say a very big thank you to you, Dr. Chow, because I think today in this very fun session with you, against the very typical stiff doctors that we expect out of someone who has spent half the family's fortune on pursuing a degree in education in veterinary service, I think today you brought up this very light-hearted side and you let all these home viewers and pet lovers understand that there is a deeper meaning and responsibility of what pets are. So I'm just going to give you this last 1 minute because I'm getting very frantic flags from the back right there from the folks at N Parks. Yeah, they're our paymasters, so no choice, I have to listen to them. Any last shout out to the home viewers out there and advice that you want to end your segment with?
So at the end of the day, vets are not your enemy. Vets are your allies as part of pet ownership journey. There are a lot of vet clinics right now, they may be overwhelmed by the increasing pet demand during COVID. But at the end of the day, all of us, including our nurses, chose this career because it's our calling. There may be some black sheep once in a while that make your experiences bad, but 99% of us are still good, and this is why we wake up every day and show up to work. So we may be slow, be patient with us, but we are here because we want to help animals.
I love the way he ended that segment there. So ladies and gentlemen, my very first guest for this afternoon, a very big round of applause for the one and only Dr. Chow Haoting. Thank you very much, Dr. Chow. I'll see you again soon, man, really.
Thank you.
I think I need to send my pet to you, really. I like this guy. I'm totally in love with him. He's so humorous. I mean, honest. Wow. Did you see how he answered and then how he came out like, the answer? I like him. Wow, I like this. And then suddenly you can hear maybe in the background this shh sound. And then suddenly yes, a dog came here to sanitize my chair. Just kidding lah. Yes, a lot of SMM are being put into place. But folks, with that statement about SMMs, safety management measures being put into place, I would just like to draw on this very important point that the folks here at AVS and also at MParks would like to tell you guys is because, now with COVID cases rising and all that stuff, in the past with CB, heightened alert and everything, they're going into place, a lot of us still need to bring our pets out for a walk, but in the moment of haste sometimes, in that moment of rush, and we tend to forget ourselves, like, some of us adults can even forget to put on our face masks when we go out, and then sometimes when we bring our pets down, we also forget to leash them, we forget to control them, we forget to pick up after them, and then for some cat owners also, just leave the door open like Bruno Mars, I'm gonna leave the door open, and then suddenly your cat run out, your dog run out, your hamster starts to go for a little stroll. So let's all be responsible pet owners despite what is happening around us during these very tough times, because yes, our pets need freedom, so do other Singaporeans who are living with us who are not pet owners. We may have people who understand cats, who understand dogs, who understand the needs for you to have pets, but they may not understand the behavior and the characteristics of your pets. So please do be responsible pet owners. When you go for a walk with your pets, do pick up after them if they do pass motion or whatever stuff. If your cats are still living with you in the house or they happen to just walk around the estate, just keep a lookout for them. Make sure that they do not get into any accidents or cause any unnecessary problems to your fellow residents or even motorists in the car parks. I'm speaking from experience, all right? Because not everybody will go and pick up after a cat or look after a cat if this person happens to be under the car or whatever. So please just be responsible and help Singapore be a more conducive and loving environment for all pet owners and pets alike. Okay? Alrighty, so that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Phew, man, my goodness. Now I suddenly feel like I'm also part of MParks like that, and also NEA, everybody else. I think I'm like multi-ministry task force, Am I getting paid extra for this? Okay, you heard absolute silence. And now, next to me, I'm getting a bit edgy and getting a bit nervous because, ladies and gentlemen, after speaking to a very humorous Dr. Chow, it's time to hand the time over to another very gorgeous vet. I say this because, when I say gorgeous, you all know lah. Confirm got woman appear on set one. Old uncle already. Plus another more gorgeous being right there on the lap of this vet. So ladies and gentlemen, our second guest that I'm going to be speaking to for this afternoon is Dr. Audrey Chen, Director, Centre for Animal Rehabilitation, AVS, and her topic is going to be Little Paws, how to choose a healthy puppy suitable for my family. Now, if only they can do that for gynecologists. How to give birth to healthier and better mannered babies like mine. Okay, let's move on. Hi, Dr. Audrey. Good afternoon. Oh, wow. Well, you look like a very sporty person, man. You look like someone who goes wakeboarding, surfing, someone who's not married yet.
I have 2 kids.
Okay, end of this segment, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to the next part of our program for today. Okay, I'm just kidding. Let's have a bit of laughter in the afternoon, right? Now, before we start the segment with Dr. Audrey Chen, guys, listen up. All our home viewers out there, if you have any questions along the way of what Dr. Audrey Chen is sharing with you guys, I want you to hit that very, very important keyboard of yours, whether it's on your phone, it's on your laptop, wherever you're watching this program from. Keep the comments coming in, keep the questions coming in, so that we can address all your questions at the end of a segment. Hopefully this time around we can do 2 or 3 questions rather than 1, because I think Dr. Chow's segment was, he was into that PowerPoint presentation. Okay, Dr. Chen, without wasting any more time, it says here, you got great credentials coming in also, just like Dr. Chow itself. Trained veterinarian from the University of Melbourne, postgraduate degree from Royal Veterinary College in London, interest in animal health, welfare, etc., etc., etc. Yours also same thing, about 7 pages. My goodness, is there anything that you vets don't do? Like, can you just cut down on the qualifications that you have or not? You make me feel very undereducated,
No, we're learning new things every day.
Oh, learning new things every day. So, this topic, how to choose a healthy puppy suitable for my family. You want to start this off, or do you want me to question you? Because you're a married woman, and I know married women don't get questioned. They are the ones that ask the questions.
Maybe a combination. I think because of COVID, I think a lot of, we have seen a rise in pet ownership, not only in Singapore, but all over the world actually. There was a huge spike in the number of people who have gone out to shelters to try and adopt animals, gone to pet shops to buy pets, and I think it's It's very steep, the rise in pet ownership. And I think the topic that I want to cover today is really to tell people to not buy on impulse. There is actually a lot of the thought process that needs to go into owning an animal before actually diving into owning one. So it's a bit like a kid. It's a lifelong commitment. It's not a decision that a family should take lightly. While we agree that, a pet really brings a lot of happiness to the family, a lot of joy and brings comfort to a lot of people. During this time when people might be under a lot of stress, everybody's working from home, facing each other every day, especially with kids. The latest news where primary school kids are going to be like home-based learning again, so parents are all like stressed again, so everyone's in this really stressed pressure cooker, and I do agree that an animal will bring some level of comfort to that, but I think one has to first consider that a pet is really a lifelong commitment. So for example, like a dog, you're looking at 15, 20 years possibly, at least 10 years for maybe some of the larger ones. But really, before doing it, the worst kind of reason to get a dog is, it's my girlfriend's birthday, and I think she would love a puppy. Let's go and get one from the pet shop. Or, oh, look, there's this person that's selling a cheap puppy on WeChat for like $200. Let's go and buy one. I think that's like the worst reason ever. And just please don't buy on impulse.
Exactly.
So I think, there's just so many things
It's
to
so
consider.
irritating, right?
Yeah.
Because I know of a friend, Wayne. This guy I've known for quite some time, Wayne. Same thing like that. Bought first one dog love for the wife, and after that the dog. Hey, my wife says the dog is lonely at home. Since you don't have kids, might as well buy another dog. It's like that, no. It's like, oh my goodness, like, gosh, really? Are we now trying to pair up the dogs and like give siblings to the dogs and all that stuff? But what you said is totally true, because to be a pet owner, to be honest, guys, is what I've told you for many episodes already in the run-up from EPDO to this hybrid one. Let's be responsible pet owners, because pets are like your kids, as what Dr. Audrey mentioned. And they are not like cryptocurrency. You can buy and sell anytime you feel like it. Once you think there's a price hike, you sell. Or you let go the dog, or you just leave the dog alone to run out into the wilderness and become a stray dog. This is not how it works. Dogs are also living beings. They also have emotions, likewise for cats and whatever not. But since we're on the topic of dogs, would you like to introduce me to this very special guest of yours, seated so quietly and peacefully on your lap?
His name is Bean. I'm actually currently fostering him. So he's got quite a sad history. He was actually kind of confined for many months, devoid of social interaction, and the only kind of interaction that he had wasn't very pleasant. I shan't go into too much detail of his background, but needless to say, he's got a pretty bad kind of childhood, and I think he, as a result of that, has developed some level of fear towards people and certain type of household kind of appliances like vacuum cleaners, brooms, and things. And he gets really scared whenever he sees them. So I'm currently trying to desensitize him from the fear of some of these regular household appliances that he sees every single day, to let him realize that these are not scary things, and that these are just part and parcel of being a pet. So I think he's come a long way from when I first fostered him. He's definitely not there yet. The bark that you heard as Dr. Chow was leaving just now, that was from him, because he still has a general fear of strangers. And that's actually another topic that I was about to cover, about different breed predispositions of certain breeds of dogs, because that's actually a major consideration that people should have before they go out and buy a puppy, because different breeds of dogs have different predispositions, like I said. So like Dachshunds, for example, they tend to be like, they're like guard dogs, and they were hounds to start with. So they would hunt out vermin. They were bred initially for that. So they would like chase after like rats, and then they would bark at strangers. So different breeds have different tendencies. Some breeds tend to have separation anxieties. Some breeds tend to have, so they get really sad when their owners leave, and that's what some of the countries are seeing now as people start to go back to work. Their dogs are left at home by themselves, and then they develop major behavioral issues. They bark all day, and then the neighbors complain, and then the owners end up having to give up the animals to a shelter because of the neighbors complaining, because they still have to go to work. So there are a lot of considerations actually really around getting a puppy, and it's not as straightforward as, this dog is so cute, let's just buy it. So some of the larger breed dogs, some of the thick-coated dogs, for example, your Huskies, your Malamutes, is it really suitable for our climate here? Things like that needs to be considered before actually just buying it because it's nice, like an LV bag that I can show off, Or these are things that we really urge that people must really consider whether certain breeds tend to be not so good with children, for example, and your family has young kids or a baby that's coming along, certain breeds that you might want to consider not having, for example. And whether if you live in a HDB flat, what are the breeds that are allowed in a HDB flat? So there are a lot of considerations and definitely not a decision that should be taken lightly.
From what you're sharing, Dr. Audrey, because what you're telling me now, it's really very wow. It's a eye opener. It really starts to open up this little tiny brain of mine. And what you mentioned about certain dogs. Wow, friend likes to buy a Siberian Husky, but stay HDB like can man. Yeah. So, Golden Retriever, very good one there. Very wow. My cousin in Australia, the dog, the Golden Retriever. Wow, I start to buy Golden Retriever, and then you start to realize that when this dog came as a puppy, and they buy it. They don't really go for the best thing, which we've been encouraging a lot of our viewers, is to adopt. Start with adoption first, and then we talk about buying. Because if you adopt and you're unable to carry on providing for this pet of yours, you can actually, put it up for a readoption again. Not like you buy and then you start to throw away kind of thing. Yeah, a lot of people will not agree with me, but I'd rather you not spend the money and then give more problems to the animal world than to be as such. So I don't know. To me, I feel that what you're telling me now is, besides considering climatic, because if I don't have hair and I'm feeling the heat, we think about these pets who have to stay in an enclosed area or maybe go out in the hot sun and walk. Next thing is you got to worry about your kids, whether the dog and your kids can go together. Next thing is about, because I think we all know pets, generally speaking, even as for dogs, maintenance is not a joke. It sometimes can go up to four-figure sums. Yeah. So with all these considerations put in place, what else do we need to look out for if we are interested, or a family is very interested to adopt or even purchase a dog?
So
you can correct me. Go ahead, because this program is all about interaction. Yeah. I say something wrong, go ahead, whack me, because sometimes also getting a bit distracted by a caterpillar on the floor, centipede crawling. Because I don't want Bean to go down on the floor. Then later anything happen to the poor dog, then we all kena blame.
No.
So don't worry. Just sorry. I know it's very rude, but I'm not cutting my guess. Okay, that is not a pet. That is a insect, a pest. Okay, so settle. All right, you can carry on. See, Bean, I love you, Bean. See.
Yep. Adopting, yes, it's good. It's good, and we do encourage people to adopt instead of buying. But it's really not in the dog's interest to keep changing owners as well. So especially, it takes time for animals like dogs, who are very social creatures, to get used to and comfortable to the people that they're living with. So unfortunately, having the dog change multiple owners is also not in the dog's interest. It's highly stressful for them to have to keep adapting to a new environment over and over again. That's why even if a person is considering to adopt instead of buy, that is actually something that is also not a light decision to make. And I think matching the suitability of an adopter with the dog is also very, very important. So some of these animals, they were there in the shelter for a reason. And I think that part needs to be considered. I think full kind of history of the animal, why the animal came, what are the considerations around which the animal was surrendered in the first place. I think these need to be disclosed to the potential adopters so they don't end up with problems down the road and then the poor dog, having to be returned because these were not made known to the adopter before, and then the poor dog becomes like a transactionary thing. And that's really sad for the animal. And it's not fair, really. So, but I agree, yes, adopt, don't buy, because of course we're trying not to just fuel the whole industry, and we want to give some of these dogs that don't have a chance at a home again. But yet, like I said, it's not fair to the animal as well. But when it comes to buying an animal, I think where you buy an animal from is also very important. Like I briefly mentioned earlier part about buying on WeChat, these are just like no-goes, these are illegal sources. A lot of them, you have no idea how the dogs, the parents the breeding parents were like, what kind of conditions they were subject to. And then for a start, they're illegal to start with. They're not licensed. The conditions in which the parents are kept. Some of these animals, they're really like just used to breed puppies for sale. And it's just very sad, the conditions that they're in. And then the puppies end up with a lot of genetic problems, health problems. And then the parents are, when they're no longer useful to the breeders, they get abandoned. So it's very sad. And so these are things that we encourage people that if they really can't find an animal from a shelter, for example, and they really want to welcome a dog into their home, that they actually buy one from a reputable source, like a licensed pet shop or a breeder. And even then, there are breeders and there are breeders, there are pet shops and there are pet shops. Always do your research, always do your homework. Make sure that you know what you're getting into, and ask questions. I think that's what I always encourage people to do. Like, if that person has nothing to hide, there is no reason why they cannot give you an answer to your question. Ask questions about the parents, ask questions about where they were from, ask questions about the conditions in which they were living in, ask about, just ask, what food they were fed in. I think that is your right as a buyer as well, to ask the person that's selling you the animal questions about the animal before you do that. Yeah.
So that is why, you see, Doc, I'm just going to be very honest with you. Why I'm a very different type of a host, an MC. I like to push certain boundaries and like to be very controversial at times, because it is always good for the audience to hear it from a professional like Dr. Chow and yourself, rather than me coming up and going, hey, you know what, it's a bit, no, you should not like that, you must. So if I start to say something that's very controversial, I would really, really, like what you just did, truly appreciate you coming forward and say, Justin, this is the wrong way to say it. Because if I do not bring out these sort of things, a lot of people, especially our generation type thinking that, a dog can be like a child. If the dog is bored, just put an iPad or an iPhone in front and let him watch YouTube. It doesn't work that way. If you want to adopt, you need to understand the background, as what Dr. Audrey has mentioned. It's not just, today can bring home, 1 month later cannot give back. You got to understand it's just going to further traumatize the pet. Whether it's a dog, it's a cat, it's going to traumatize. If I keep asking you to shift house, from Pasir Ris shift Tampines, Tampines go Simei, Simei go Changi, Changi go Bedok, you keep doing this every month, you won't go crazy? I think you also go crazy. Yes, no doubt you can get maybe good pricing for your flats, but if you keep changing your environment and you're not even warmed up yet, how would you feel as a person? Translate that into how an animal feels if it keeps changing an environment. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Because a lot of you out there who know me, yes, you all will think, yeah, Justin is a clown, he's a joker, he's never serious. But this is a serious topic that we're addressing when it comes to animals. So guys, before you adopt or even before you buy an animal or a pet, understand, ask questions. Don't just assume, presume, because assumption will be the major screw up of your life. So don't assume, ask questions. Even if you want to adopt, put in that little effort. Go in every week to the adoption center, spend time with that little dog that you're looking at, the cat that you want to adopt. Just spend that time. Let your children follow you if you have kids with you. Bring the family along, spend some family time there. Yes, you can have social distancing, 5 people, 1 dog. It's okay, because government says 5 people, they include a dog. So the 6th person can be a dog, it's all right, no issues. Understand that, work it out with them, work it out with the pet. If you're comfortable, your kids are comfortable, the dog behaves well and adapts to you, that is the time that you say, look, this is the pet for the family. True?
True.
Not bad, right? So don't say Justin always clown. I actually make sense one, I actually talk logic, okay? I also went to school. I got double degree, 375, 350. Today my 3rd degree down here, 36.3. Okay, that issue aside. Now, Dr. Audrey, I'm just asking a question. After, you can adopt a dog, what are the other things that pet owners or would-be pet owners need to look out once they have found that perfect pet for their family.
Okay, so you mean before buying or?
After,
before,
lah. After adopt, after buy, after
Okay,
whatever, after
okay.
getting the pet.
Yeah, okay, so personally I feel that really important, especially if you're getting puppies, is socialization for the puppies. Do that as early as possible. A lot of dogs that have behavioral issues, they lack socialization as puppies. And unfortunately that window is quite short. And they should be exposed to as many different people, many different kinds of dogs, many different types of environments, different things, in the least stressful way and as early as possible, as frequently as possible, for them to get used to them and just be used to the fact that these are normal, happy things. For example, going for car rides, so that they don't associate going for a car ride as I'm going to the vet, for example. You know, and it can be just as innocuous as we're going to the park, you know, to have fun, and they associate those experiences with happy things, as fun things, so that on the unfortunate event that they really have to go to a vet because they need to, then there is always the fear-free vets that they can visit, so that experience is least traumatizing for them. But like I said, I think socialization and training, obedience training, is really important, so that I mean, a lot of neighborly kind of disputes that we see kind of occur around behavioral issues that dogs have. Unhappy about barking, unhappy about aggression, or dog-dog aggression, dog-human aggression, and things like that. And I think a lot of this can be addressed or even prevented if the animals have gone through training, proper training. And the type of training that the animal receives, I think, is really important as well. So, you know, there are different types of training methods out there, you know, punishment-based methods, reinforcement-based methods, which means that you don't have to use fear-based or you know, methods that inflict harm to the animal, like, you know, how a lot of us were brought up, like, by caning and things like that. But it doesn't have to be, because a lot of dogs, like Bean here, he's highly motivated by food. So his most favorite food is chicken, and you can almost get him to do anything if you had chicken, and it's really so why do you have to whip out your cane if chicken works, you know? And then he knows that if he sits, he gets chicken. If he listens, he gets chicken. It doesn't mean, so that it wouldn't be a case of if I do something wrong, then I will get cane. And he's always living in fear as to when the cane will come next, you know, or like when he's going to do something wrong and get a caning. So it's kind of promoting and reinforcing good behavior that we want to see, rather than punishing, because he'll never know what is kind of not behavior that you want. So I think it's important that dogs go for behavior training and look for trainers that use reinforcement-based methods rather than punishment methods. I think that's really important. Yep.
Love the way you put it straight across. Because earlier, as what you remember Dr. Chow mentioning, chicken, beef. This fella down here lives for chicken.
Yeah, he lives for chicken.
Champion, right? You want to try durian, Bean? Okay, jokes aside. If after, you know, you mentioned all these questions, what we should ask breeders, what we should consider and look into if we are purchasing a pet or whatever stuff, or a dog or a puppy as per se. So what would the questions, just a quick rattle off questions you ask breeders or guys who sell you this puppy, and what are the regulatory requirements once you have a puppy?
Okay, so of course dogs in Singapore need to be licensed. I'll start with the regulatory ones first. They need to be microchipped and licensed. Microchipping really is for traceability purposes. Like, I mean, you've put in so much resources into buying the dog, into, you know, caring for the dog. The last thing you want to happen is if you lose your dog, to not be able to find your dog again.
You trace together, easy, right?
Yeah, they can have their little tag with them. But yeah, I mean, a microchip really allows an owner, if they lose their dog, to be able to trace their dog if someone else finds it, for example. And yeah, I mean, if we do at the shelter in AVS receive lost animals, and thankfully a lot of them, because they are microchipped, and because we have the details of their owners, are able to reunite them with their owners. And that's a happy ending, right? Their owners are reunited with their animals. And that's the main reason why dogs should be microchipped. And of course, they need to be licensed as well. So regulatory-wise, this is what you need to do. Yeah, like Yeah, and questions that you asked the breeder, right? That was the other
Yep.
question. Yeah, so I mean, when if I'm going to a breeder versus if I'm going to a pet shop, it's probably a bit different. The breeder will probably have the parents with them. I might ask questions about the parents, how many litters have the parent has this set of parents had? Do you have the parents? Can I have a look at them? What kind of conditions are they living in, for example? What kind of healthcare they have been given? So I know like whether the puppy has certain level of immunity against certain diseases already, for example. And of course, where the parents were from, for example, because the last thing I want is for the breeder to be using siblings and then constantly breeding. And if they're able to tell you that, oh, you know, it's F1 were from this place and I never ever breed siblings, for example, and then they're very conscious of avoiding inbreeding. So questions like this, I would definitely ask the breeder. Things like a pet shop, if the animal was imported from overseas, I would ask similar questions: where they were from, which breeding farm they were from, for example, whether they have pictures of the parents. Some animals, especially the larger breed dogs, some of them tend to have like hip problems, for example. So you might want to ask questions around whether the parents had things like hip dysplasia. And these are things that would, maybe not as puppies, but as they get older, if you know that their parents had serious hip problems, it's very likely that your dog will have hip problems. And this is something that you want to avoid because surgery can be expensive, like Haoting said. So
don't let it be a Shakira and then hips don't lie. You know, my
problem.
hips don't lie. Right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So
Now, I think with what you've covered thus far, a lot of our home viewers are now going whole chunks of questions coming out like same thing for Dr. Chow, but I'm just going to pick one, or rather the backroom team will pick one, and we are just going to bring this question up to the screen and we can ask you, and you may want to address this from Marco Tang. Whoa, this one like Alsatian or German Shepherd like that. Who, Marco, who? Roof, man. What is the best age for a puppy to be taken home, as some puppies out there are only 3 months old?
okay, so in terms of regulations, they do have to be at least, 9 weeks. So that's about 3 months because a lot of the conditions currently are around their vaccination status. So they do have to have completed their puppy vaccinations before they go home. So I would say that it is around that time that puppies are taken home. And actually, vets around the world now are trying to advocate for puppies to get socialized even earlier than that, because their socialization window is actually before that. So while there is a risk if puppies are exposed to unvaccinated animals, the risk is actually low if they are actually interacting with animals that are fully vaccinated and protected. And it's actually very important for puppies to get socialized as young as possible. Yeah.
That's good. Now, we have one more question coming in from Jessica Ong. We will do this one also. Would you recommend getting a dog to help with animal-assisted therapy for those suffering from depression? Oh, wow.
I could go for 30 minutes just on this question
Huh?
alone.
Dr. Chow, you want to come back and join us? Because maybe Dr. Chow can show PowerPoint also. First sign of depression and how animals can treat. This is PowerPoint slide number 1. This is how depression looks like. Okay, so I'm going to be very honest because I think, Jessica, this question that you asked is something that is very close to my heart because, I don't want to share it on this platform now, but I think this is something truly that needs to be addressed. Would getting a dog or any form of pet with animal-assisted therapy help those who are suffering from depression?
So, I mean, the question I would interpret as getting a dog to help for oneself? Or?
Correct. Let's say now, for example, ladies and gentlemen, I am Justin Dominic Nissen, 49 years of age. I am a victim of depression. I'm on 4 antidepressants. I have a dog, and this dog makes me feel relaxed, makes me feel happy, and I don't have to worry about my life.
Okay, so like I mentioned, animals come with responsibilities, and for a person who is suffering from depression, if that person is planning to get a dog for themselves because they think that just by bringing a dog home they can kind of alleviate their depression, then I think it's risky because I mean, you never know what to expect, right? Owning a puppy comes with its own set of responsibilities, its own set of stress as well. I wouldn't say that being a pet owner is all just happy and fun games all day long. You know, that they do get sick as well. They do have problems in that sense as well. And if you think that, you know, getting a dog is your magic bullet to cure of depression, then I think you have to think twice. But as to whether working with animals can actually help people who are suffering from depression, I think that I totally agree with that. And as to whether it's animal-assisted therapy or animal-assisted activities, I think that's quite different. So animal-assisted therapy is actually done by a therapist, so a fully qualified psychologist or a psychiatrist who works with animals. They're suitably qualified as a psychiatrist or a psychologist first and foremost, and they incorporate using animals into their therapy sessions to help people with depression. So that I agree, and there are numerous studies out there to show that there are positive effects of animals on these people. And even animal-assisted activities in themselves, i.e., you know, taking an animal to a person and just letting the person stroke the animal. These are animal-assisted activities, and they themselves have also been shown to provide a lot of emotional kind of benefits to these people. And this is an area that really, I think there's a lot of more studies that can be done in the local context, and I think it's also an area in Singapore that's growing currently. So yeah, I mean, if the question, I'm just reading it as it plainly, would you recommend getting a dog to help myself if I had depression? I would think twice. But if a person is suffering from depression and they would like to seek out animal-assisted therapy from a therapist that can provide, you know, suitable sessions, curated sessions, then I think yes, I do agree. Yep.
Yes, not just getting a dog or a pet just to take away your depression, because by adding a dog into your life, it could actually add on to your depression.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be very honest and upfront, and whatever statement I made earlier before the lead in to the answer, ladies and gentlemen, it is the truth. So please listen up. Don't just because, yes, you've heard it from sources, it's all animal related. Not that you go get yourself a pet and come back and everything's going to be all perfect. It will help you with your depression or ease off your depression, because sometimes by doing this, you're actually adding more stress to yourselves, okay? So please take the advice of our professionals, Dr. Chow, Dr. Audrey. These guys have already told you what it's all about. Take the advice, and most importantly is, as what I've done for my previous guest, likewise I do for our second guest for this afternoon. Dr. Audrey, anything you want to end off today, a final takeaway for everyone out there watching this program?
Okay, so since my topic is on puppies today, I would go back to the topic that I'm talking about, which is on choosing a puppy that's suitable for your family. So like I mentioned before, I think one family, everybody who is planning to bring a puppy home or a dog home, please do your research before going out to get one. I think that you have to remember that a dog is alive too, and it comes with a huge responsibility. Please do not take that decision lightly. Make sure you do your research, research, make all the considerations around whether the whole family is ready for one. Are you prepared for the lifelong commitment of the animal, financial commitment for the animal before actually launching out to buy one? And please buy from licensed, reputable sources and not illegal breeders or pet shops. Yep.
Alrighty, man. Thank you so much, Dr. Odd. Thank you so much, really, for this beautiful day. I gotta say, man, I gotta give a shout out to me. If you say this chap has been traumatized, I can tell you it's not. This is one of the most well-behaved guests I have had on PDO. Yeah, whether it's the e-version or live version, the most well-behaved one. The last one was nightmarish. Took away the limelight from me as the host. So, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up our interviews with our two very special guests for this afternoon. But in a short while's time, after this public announcement, I feel like some SCDF. This is a public service announcement for all pet owners out there. Kindly, please, look after your pets when you bring them out for a walk. And do pick up after them if they defecate in public areas. Now, kindly, please, do not let your cats, your dogs, run all over the shop and cause hindrance and also a nuisance to other residents living in and or around you. This message has been proudly brought to you by AVS, one of our clusters under NParks. Sounds damn professional, man. I love this. But what's going to happen next, folks, is in this next 30 to 45 minutes, I'm going to be walking the grounds right here at the Jurong Lake Gardens to show you physically what we have lined up for our pre-registered guests who are joining us on this hybrid version of Pets Day Out, PDO. So we're gonna be walking, yes, or not we lah, me and another very, very poor chap who is underpaid and overworked. Adrian, ready, yeah? Okay, yeah? Can, We're gonna put on my pods and then we're gonna walk around and just gonna check out who are the people here and we're gonna have some fun, talk to them if we can. If not, cannot talk to them, then never mind lah. We just walk around and see lah. Okay. You see, before I even walk, I will never stand up, people. Hello, put your mask. I know lah. I'm Singaporean. I didn't contribute to the 900 cases, right? Oops, did I say that? Okay, here we go.
So, you can see what happening, this one what phone, bro? I don't want to say the brand, I think your brand no good one, Is your brand good, You get the latest, bro, 13, This one, the Korean one, Korean one, you see, the camera not so happening. Check this out, man. Our first station, aquarium. Careful. Okay, so folks, live here today, we've got a couple of stations. We got a pet health check. We also have adoption drive going on. And the first location I'm going to bring you guys to would be the free vet or free pet health check area. Okay, currently I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people inside there. And we have to observe SMM, which is your safe measurement or safe management measures. So I cannot go inside because 5 people inside. So if I go inside at 6 people, so I'm just waiting for maybe one of them to step out, then I can go join them. Because all I can see inside, okay, Aaron, come there. I don't know if you can do this. I think there should be reflection, but you can see that there's a guinea pig. Is that a guinea pig, bro? Yeah, looks like a guinea pig, right? Yeah. Because I don't know if you're looking at the guinea pig or the girl holding the guinea pig. Can I go in? Okay, good. So we can go in now and just have a little quick look at what's happening here at our free pet health check area. As you can see, we've got our very, very professional vet right here from AVS who is helping our guests, our pre-registered guests, to check on this guinea pig, right? You still say not guinea pig. Walao, brother, you think I stupid, don't know guinea pig or guinea pig, man. So from this lovely guinea pig that has taken my hair and planted it on itself, so why you laugh? Hello, this was my hair. It was on my head before. I had blonde and streaks of black, excuse me. Just because I'm bald now doesn't mean I didn't have hair in the past, right? So, hi ladies, whose guinea pig is this? Oh, ours, Wow, you're very free, Ours, So how many guinea pigs did you bring in? 1, 2, 3. 3 guinea pigs. Wow, Piang. 3 guinea pigs. Can I also join you and be a guinea pig and I can be in a family? Looks like your guinea pigs are very well fed, Happening, Sorry?
There's a lot of hair.
Can we avoid all this kind of topic, What's your name, doc? Can you give me a name, doctor, please?
Olivia.
Sorry?
Olivia.
Olivia, very good. I'm Newton John. Yeah, right. You're angry, man, this one. This kind of vet, you see, You see. First thing, hey, this guinea pig got a lot of hair. Yeah, have you not noticed who's the MC here for today?
The most luscious hair.
Oh, thank you. Oh, wow. Girlfriend, just fire away. Feel free, So, okay, now this is what I like to see. You see, this is what we at NPAS are doing, along with one of our clusters, which is AVS, and we're providing free pet health check services live right here at the Jurong Lake Gardens. Now, this is what we've been doing all this while for PDO, which is Pets Day Out. And of course, pets came along with their human owners. As you can see down here, 3 guinea pigs, got 1 owner each. I tell you, this is fantastic. I don't know how this economy is working, but it looks like a very healthy economy from what I'm seeing of the guinea pigs. You see? Got health check, got what, guinea pig also eat bigger than me, Look at the guinea pig, they are healthier than me, I feel very undernourished, man. I feel like a refugee standing next to these guinea pigs. So if you're interested, you can actually pre-register for the next round of PDO. You just need to keep a lookout for our website, and you just have to check on updates from Animal Buzz SG. Okay? Animal Buzz SG, Animal ANIMAL Buzz BUZZ Singapore lah. Okay, so I'm not going to disturb Olivia and these 3 dynamic ladies. It looks like Charlie's angels all hanging around here. So I'll leave the guinea pigs be and don't tell you. Take care, Olivia. See you again, Hair. She plays hair again. I tell you, I'm looking out for this vet. I tell you, angry. Now, coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, where we're going to is this place, this whole entire room where we are having a adoption drive going on. As you can see right here, I'm just going to be very honest. You see, All the SMF all put into place already. You see, Group A 3 p.m. to 3:20, Group B 3:30 to 3:50, Group C 4 to whatever. So I belong to Group D because I'm dumb. Yes, no, I'm just kidding lah. Group D coming in right now. So coming in here, folks, you can see that we have set up 3 different booths and we have registration. We got sanitizer, so must sanitize, huh? Correct? Thank you, very nice. So this is how you sanitize, huh? So macam sanitize. Okay. Spill lah, sorry. Hi guys, you look very stressed. Hello. PDO, no. Welcome your guests. Welcome the registered guests. You all are there, right?
Welcome.
This is like your 12 midnight parliament session like that. What's wrong with these guys? I don't understand, no? So, if you can see here, folks, we are at the Guinea Pig Rescue Singapore area. Now, we got the beautiful ladies who are going to be handing out or telling all these pre-registered guests about how you can adopt a guinea pig, how you can help them in this charitable cause, because these guys here are doing something really, really fantastic. Some of these guinea pigs that belong to the Guinea Pig Rescue Singapore are abandoned guinea pigs. That's what you heard Dr. Audrey mentioned earlier. Some pet owners just don't care. SBC, not the broadcast center, it's a simply bochap. SBC. They don't care about the pet after a while. They find the guinea pig irritating. Like what Dr. Olivia mentioned, got too much hair. They cannot shave the hair. They cannot what? They throw. Then what happens to these guinea pigs? All brought into Guinea Pig Rescue Singapore, which is why now there's an adoption drive going on. And our volunteers from the Guinea Pig Rescue Singapore, GPRS, okay, not GPS, are now speaking to some of these very interested participants to see if they want to adopt these guinea pigs. So remember, if you have an interest to adopt a guinea pig for your kids, for yourself, because you think that a cat or a dog may be too much work for you, then go visit these guys at the website, Guinea Pig Rescue Singapore, okay? Go search for them and find out more details how you can assist and how you can also adopt guinea pigs. Guinea pig got hair, man? I thought it's called fur. Hair. I also don't know lah. Hair or fur? Guinea pig is hair or hair? They say hair lah. Oh, another one of my favorite. Hamster Society Singapore. Would you believe it? When I told my kids about hamster, they thought I was selling meat. They thought ham like small ham, hamlet, hamster. I wanted to slap these children. I wasted my money sending these kids to school, you know. I'd rather have a dog than have my kids, really. So Hamster Society Singapore. What is this all about? Oh, sorry, I didn't see the small little girl inside there. I still thought 4 people. I can go inside, kecoh a bit, like kacau a bit, like hello. But suddenly I saw a little girl. Okay lah, never mind lah. Then ask the big girl to walk up because the big girl is standing on there like So, okay. Sorry, your name is? No, you just carry on talking. Oh, who can I speak to? Never mind, I talk to you. 不要紧张，你们讲。Girls, you like hamster? Hamster cute, right? 我们一起学 hamster 叫，一起喵。Okay, she's getting very worried. And who am I speaking to? Sorry. Sorry? Andrea. So, Andrea, tell us more about the Hamster Society Singapore. You just have to maybe speak up a bit louder.
Okay, so basically we rescue and help to rehabilitate unwanted or abandoned hamsters in Singapore. So one of the hamsters that we have here, Judon, he's actually up for adoption.
For adoption, okay.
So he was rescued from a hoarding case, a major hoarding case.
So it's one of those people who like stay in the house, then never clean the house, never anything. So this person actually was a hoarder. For hoarder in Singapore also, I thought hoarder like USA.
Not really things, but they kind of hoarded like hamsters.
Oh, hoarded hamsters. Are you serious?
Male and female together. So obviously, naturally, they'll reproduce. And when they reproduce, there were just a lot of babies. And they didn't separate by gender. So that led to a lot of babies.
So these guys actually hoarded hamsters and they just let the hamsters live free in one cage, male, female, all together, like a mixed co-ed school.
Yes.
Then this school became like family planning unit already. Oh my goodness. So how many did you actually rescue from this order, this hamster order?
120.
Sorry?
120 slash.
Pardon me, uncle may be a bit old and my hearing may be a bit bad. Did you just say from the hoarder alone you rescued 120 over from one person? Hey folks, I do not know if you're hearing this or not, but look, this is the kind of situation that could happen. This is what could potentially happen and cause distress. One hoarder, one irresponsible pet owner for a group of hamsters, maybe 2 or 3. Suddenly, don't look after, just hot down there, throw one corner, 120 plus. Think about it, guys. Think about it. Let's not traumatize these little creatures, okay? They may be creatures, animals, but they are also living things. Why do we want to make their lives difficult? Imagine now lah, your 5 people stay in 3 room flat. Already kau pay, kau bu, bising sampai nak mampus. If not, I tell you lah, your 10 people lah in one family stay in 1 room flat. How you feel? Check right, kisiao right. So please spare a thought for all these little cute animals out there. Andrea, thank you so much for, and sorry for taking your time because I see you explaining on that to the group. So they're adopting, is it?
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. Fingers crossed. No need lah, just bank table. Adopt lah, don't waste time. Bye, take care. See y'all. Hi, hi. Papa. At least got small girl with me. Oh my gosh. I always love to see this. Look at this, my all-time favorite. And I do remember these guys because they hold a very special place in my heart. Cat Welfare Society. Couple of friends that I've known inside here and spoken to them before. They even appeared on one episode of our EPDO. Yes, E-Pet Day Out. They spoke about cat adoption. They spoke about how to help your cat, and it's all good. So looking at the situation now, because you can see, got social distancing one dining table, 3 people. The other dining table, only 1 person. So I can go and join the dining table. Okay, what? But they can hear if I talk to her a bit louder. Misha, what's up? What's up, girlfriend? It's alright, no worries, darling. Take your time. Charlie, Tabby White. Oh, that's Tabby, is it?
Yeah, that's Charlie.
Oh, that's Charlie, okay. So, right, Riley over here. Oh my gosh, and Riley is like so active.
I know, right?
Oh my goodness. Since the last time we spoke, what has the progress been for you guys, man, for the cat welfare?
Well, we've continued doing a lot of the sterilization. Obviously, adoptions have gotten tough.
Hey, 1 second. Yeah, I think you'll come out better because all of a sudden I feel like very rude to you. I got no manners like that. I talked to her inside the net. So rude, this child. So rude. Where is your manners? Okay.
Okay.
Look at her. Is it he?
Girls.
Girl.
Both girls.
Oh, girls.
Mm.
Oh my God, that one is like so wise. Like, okay, let's just look around and see what's happening. And the other one's go like, I want to play, I want to play, I want to play, I want to play, I
Yeah,
want to play.
that's the wisdom that comes with age.
Comes with age. So how old? 1 year, 2 years?
Just 6 months enough already. Calmer.
Serious? Huh?
That's the reason people should adopt adult cats instead of kittens. Kittens have way too much energy. Adult cats are great. They're all calm and fun.
Did you hear that? It's always good for an adult cat. Kittens, make sure you got time, you got energy. You don't have time for the energy, you better just give up your time and your energy. Okay. So look at that. Look at that. I've got Riley there. How old again? How many months?
Riley is about 3 to 4 months old.
Riley, 3 to 4 months old. Oh my goodness. And what about Charlie?
Charlie is about a year old.
Charlie's a year old. And Charlie looks already a wiser cat. It's like, this guy has been around the
Charlie
world.
is actually Riley's mom.
Are you kidding me? Riley's
Yeah.
mom is, oh.
The cats can go into sexual maturity from like 4 or 5 months of age. So they can produce their first litter within the first year. And that's why it's so important to get cats spayed as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Riley's posing up.
Yeah, right. Look at this poser down there. Look at this fella. You just look at that fella. You look at this chap having a good time down there. Hello. I feel like going in there and have a bit of fun with Riley, man. Very cautious. It's very cautious. Riley. Hey. Not the phone. Oh, waiting to come out. Freedom,
Nah, she's okay.
Okay, come, Riley. I'm gonna come and have some fun with you. Look at that, guys. Look. This is what pet ownership is all about. Okay, this is all about being responsible. Riley, give me. Wanna smell it? Good. All right. Get used to me a bit. Hey, you're fishy. You wanna go for the little bake? Yes. Okay. I guess you don't like to play me. See? Mampus kau. There. Kan? Stop. Stop. Don't you shoot. Okay, mommy's coming out now. I'm getting a bit worried. Like, hello, don't mess with my child. Oh, seeking a more comfortable place to rest in.
Yeah, so this is like a better place for her to observe you. So her back is blocked, so she knows there's no threat behind.
Okay, safer.
She's just watching you, yeah.
All right, man. You have to explain this kind of characteristics to me because to me, I always thought that if cats were doing this, they just wanted to find a more peaceful area to just do nothing and just ignore.
Yeah. And they'll be more comfortable when they don't feel threatened. So that's why it's possible.
So you have to understand the characteristics of a cat. See, like what Dr. Audrey mentioned, if you don't understand anything, you don't understand your pet, ask questions. Like, see, I don't understand cats a lot. but I ask questions. It's good to have knowledge than to be totally a blur blob. Hey, Riley, what's up? Are cats really afraid of loud noises?
Some cats move more easily, yes.
Really?
Yes, some cats, like these cats are rescued from a heavy industrial site, so they're actually more used to loud sounds. But if you got a cat that was maybe in a home and was subsequently abandoned, for instance, they would be very freaked out by even sounds of traffic or sound. It's just anything that is out of the norm for them.
Oh, okay. So, are you afraid of loud noises? Hey, Riley. Oh my God! Look at the claws. Scary, isn't it? Ooh, so much energy in you, just waiting to burst. Huh? I can see your eyes. You don't nonsense. Huh? You're looking at this gap here, right? Like, cry freedom. I wanna run. Ooh, look at. Hmm. So, averagely, how many times do they eat a day?
So cats tend to grade, so usually people will feed wet food maybe a couple of times a day, and dry food tends to be a bit on a free flow, or if portions need to be controlled for weight management issues, then they will do maybe once or twice a day as well.
Okay.
But generally, cats will know to graze through the day as opposed to eating everything at one go, unlike dogs.
Hmm. Ooh, active. Hello. You won't believe it. Uncle play with you just using one little rod with one fish at the end. I'm also getting tired. You fella, look, hello, be like your mother. Just be like your mother, okay? Just chill only.
It's fine, it's fine.
Just nap only. Hello, siesta. We are Spanish, brother. Okay, bye. Take care. Okay, you're scaring me. Oh.
So this self-entertainment.
See, it's good to talk to you again, man. Really,
Yeah, good to see you again.
really, it's a pleasure. Come, allow me to help you with this. We'll take one kind of closer. See,
Okay,
so
see you then.
these are what these guys are doing. You gotta help them out. Look here, they've got charity drive going on. Remember, this is a society that runs on assistance, kind-hearted souls like yourself, myself. So if you guys want to really help out the Cat Welfare Society, help them to achieve a better and greater cause for these cats, rescued cats, and whatever not, guys, go visit them, go to their website. Every single little bit of contribution goes a long way to helping them give cats a better home. Alrighty, so it's Cat Welfare Society. All proceeds goes into helping our community cats. More meow-alicious moments. 我们一起学猫叫，一起喵喵喵喵喵。Okay lah, sudah lah. So, remember, we've almost come to the end of our PDO today, Pets Day Out, the hybrid version, first ever. And I thank you guys for taking time out to join us today. And I hope you had some great takeaways from Dr. Chow and Dr. Audrey. But not forgetting also, from now until 6 p.m., we have more pre-registered guests coming to join us for the free pet health checks, plus, of course, adoption of guinea pigs, hamster, and cats, all happening here today live at Jurong Lake Gardens. But do keep up for more updates, okay? And keep a lookout for more updates from Animal Buzz SG. My PowerPoint also here. Animal Buzz SG for updates on when is going to be the next PDO. You can join us, or if you're very interested to have a walk around with us and be physically present, do register with us early to avoid disappointments. So, hope you guys have had a great Saturday with us in this edition of Pets Day Out. My name is Justin Misson, wishing all of you to please stay safe. And remember, let's all be responsible pet owners and look after and pick up after our pets wherever they may be and whatever they do. Have yourselves a good Saturday ahead. Good day and God bless. Take care. Peace out. Ciao. Come, let's go and see hamster.